Hello and welcome to a new series. We have top 10 chases in Heroclix. It is personal preference, my favourites. We're going to jump straight in. At number 10, we have Thor from the Mighty Thor set, I believe it was. It comes with Mjolnir. Very cool piece. It made it so I think you could melee attack from your range. So you could melee as if you was next to them from range, which was quite crazy. Really cool. Number 9, we have Hulkpool. Deadpool being one of my favourite characters. Very cool piece. Starts off with decent values for that time of the game. It's from the Deadpool set. I think it's Deadpool X-Force set. As prob to start, and then later down when it gets these free specials, it can actually turn into a different Deadpool, as long as it's lower point value. And it goes to that, and then heals a bit, so it's very cool. You could basically turn into have another Deadpool on the side and just be ready to turn into it. Big fan. And number 8, let me just get rid of these as we go. Number 8 is Ultra Chase. There wasn't enough to give them their own category, Ultra Chases, because I think there's only like 5 or 6 of them in the game at the minute. So we put it in Chase, and this is Thanos with the Ego Gem from Black Panther and the Illuminati. I think probably one of my favourite sets they've ever made. It had all the Power Stones in, it had Infinity Gauntlets, Cosmic Cube. It was just such a fun set. This Thanos can actually be equipped with any number of the Infinity Gems, which is just so cool. So it's basically trying to collect them like the movies. Really big fan of this piece, and that's why it's number 8. Number 7, we have Zombie Magneto. I remember this piece so much. This is one of the first zombies I ever got. If you don't know, the zombie ability is when he dies, he comes back to life for how many times he's hit. Every time he hits, he puts a token on himself, and also he puts a token on the other person. So when he dies, he comes back to life with the tokens, but the tokens that he puts on other people, when he kills them, they join his team, so they become zombies. So he's taking other people's clicks to your team. Very cool. It also has double TK, which is very cool, especially for the zombies, because a lot of them don't have great movement. So in a zombie team or theme that you're going for, you really want to have this. Number 6, we have King Thor. Thor being another of my favorite characters. This is like powerhouse Thor. It's from Avengers Assemble, which is an incredible set. Love that set. Great chase in it. Really solid dial. It doesn't really hold up anymore. For 369 points, you do want a bit more. It's rare to see 6 damage though, so that is quite cool. Just a favorite one of my favorite characters, and a good version of him. Number 5, we have Green Lantern, KC, Kingdom Come. All the Kingdom Come pieces have solid values throughout. This is more about the sculpt for me. He sat on a Green Lantern throne that's been generated. It's just such a cool sculpt. It had to be in my top 5. Number 4, we have one of my favourite stories I've ever read is Siege, and I believe that's what this is from. Spoiler alert. At the end, he opens a portal with the gauntlet to the zombie verse, and it's just one of the coolest things I've ever read. Just open a portal to zombies. Absolutely, as you probably see, you'll see. I love zombies. Such a cool dynamic. These last 3 clicks on this is when they hit him, he summons zombies. They're only generic ones, not like superior ones, but it is still very cool. 3 stop clicks as well. Unheard of back then. Now you get them a lot more common stop clicks, but back then that's quite crazy. Number 3. This top 3 was a tough one. Growing up, the first like live action thing that I ever watched that got me into superheroes and clicks quite a bit is Smallville. This, I always called it Smallville Superman. I don't know if it was actually meant to be built around that or anything, but that's what I always called it because it's Superman. He's got part of his ship. He's not in full costume, and in Smallville, he doesn't really get costume till like really far in, like the end seasons. It's like young Superman basically. The sculpt's really cool, but the dial doesn't hold up at all anymore. I haven't got this piece at the minute, but I'm gonna end up buying it because if this gets a legacy, just a big fan. Love this Superman. Number 2, Super Skrull. The first ever time I saw a meta game, it was on YouTube, and I remember seeing, I think it's Super Skrull and the old Connex dupe that can only take 1 damage at a time versus the zombie team base, and it just sparked my love for the game in the meta. I'd never really looked at meta. It took a few years for me to even stop playing meta after that, but I watched like all the videos religiously. I haven't. I wish I could remember the name of the channel so I could shout out. But yeah, it's so good, so good. It picks a few powers. I think it can pick 1 from each slot, and then you roll a dice, and if it's higher, you take unavoidable damage. So risk and reward in meta. Maybe too much risk these days. These days, it's a lot more just best bang for your buck, low point pieces. But this, oh, it's got the zombie ability as well. Just the pinnacle of Heroclix. I absolutely love this. But I had to pick 1 for number 1, and it had to be this guy. The first ever time me and my group of friends went to play at Nationals, we didn't actually play in the Nationals, we played in the qualifiers, and I ended up qualifying. We didn't. We ended up doing battle royales instead because we weren't that prepared at the time. But yeah, it turns off defense powers. So 13 attack, 4 damage at range, 8 range. Turn off the defense powers. It's not the same as that where it can't use. So there's nothing around that. They just can't use their defense. So you just shoot through anyone. It actually made me qualify that. I played this and the Starro Colossal with, I think it's Black Panther Prime. But yeah, very cool piece. Also, if you've ever watched Arrow, the TV show, there's an episode where they go into the future and it's one arm Green Arrow, which is this piece, and it's just so cool. It's one of the. I just love this piece. I don't have it. I need to get it back, and I'm gonna. But that is number 1, and that is top 10 Heroclix chases. Next, we're going to be doing super rare, so keep your eyes peeled.